Are we live on your YouTube channel?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
didn't even need to press anything.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Well, I'm just gonna call this the Bleed Green Podcast until we rebrand itself. We're gonna we're gonna talk the Brad Stevens press conference. I'm gonna try to pull up quotes from it, but I don't know if the Celtics have it on their Twitter or anything. But I gotta guess with me. I know you saw him during our Sixers Celtics recap, but for new people, for the 21st new subscriber here, why don't you introduce yourself again, bro?
So, I main sports. Obviously, you guys would have seen me on the last show. If you haven't seen it already, please do go check it out. It was a rant about Game 7. It was a rant about the Celtics end towards end of the season. You know, in my opinion, it was a disgraceful end to the season. But hey, what more can we do? What more can we do except discuss what Brad Stevens had to say about the Celtics team, discuss what everything's gone on in the past week. And yeah, man, let's get started, bro. Hope everything's all good on your side, though. Guys, like, share, subscribe to both channels, Justin's channel and my channel. Justin's links in the chat in my channel. And make sure you guys check out both lives. Hit the like button on both. Leave a comment on both. Sub to both. And let's get started. If you're watching this from AN Sports, big up to you. If you're watching it from Justin's channel, big up to you as well.
First of all, before we get to Brad Stevens, let's get to Jaylen Brown for a second.
Of course.
So he went live on his Twitch channel Monday night. Then the couple, or was it no Sunday night, the day after the Celtics lost to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah.
He went on to say he went on to call Joel Embiid a flopper, which I don't blame him. He is a flopper and everything. And he criticized the referee. Monday morning, Akevin, or Monday afternoon, it came out from Shams that Jaylen Brown got fined
$50,000.
50,000, yeah, 50,000 for criticizing the referees.
Mm-hmm.
Last night he went on Twitch saying like, well, they're gonna find me another thing for saying what I have to say, and he mentioned that he doesn't like that Brad Stevens criticized the team, and he said like Jaylen Brown said like if it was up to him, he could play in Boston for 10 more years, and he loves Boston and yada yada yada. So
Yeah.
hearing from what Jaylen Brown said, what are your thoughts?
It's just the media. It's just that this is the time of the season, Justin. This is the time of the season where we really think that you know what it is, bro. It's this time of year again. Welcome to the annual Jaylen Brown trade rumor season. Literally happens every single year. The championship year, the following year, every year. Even last year, we were hearing rumors of, oh, Jaylen Brown's not happy in Boston, this and that. Ratata. It's been many cases, bro. Way too many cases, and it's the same old story year in, year out. Jaylen Brown wants to leave Boston, and he came out and disclosed that information. Just straight on the bat. Jaylen Brown has a Twitch for a reason, so go follow it and stop clipping people and stop clipping Jaylen Brown for clicks and shit, because you guys take everything out of context, clip the 30 seconds and doesn't cover everything he says, and flip that narrative into something else that's not. Yeah? So stop hating on Jaylen Brown. Stop giving him weird ass context. It was his best season ever because he said that he watched his teammates grow. Not because of him individually, not because of the Celtics. So stop taking things into context, people. Sorry. Stop taking things out of context, people. Yeah? And watch the whole damn thing before you start judging, because I'm sick and tired of this crap. And the Jaylen Brown trade rumors come out. Oh, he's not happy with the Celtics. Tracy McGrady should just shut the fuck up. He has no business with the Celtics. He has no business chatting shit about the Celtics. He doesn't have any business talking about the Celtics. Let's be honest. He has business talking about the Celtics in his media, but he has no reason to speculate about Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown came out and said he could stay in Boston for 10 more years if he liked. And he'll stay. And I want him to stay. I don't want him to go anywhere. I love Jaylen Brown, and I always will. I'll back Jaylen Brown to the day he fucking leaves the Celtics. right? But you have people out there trying to come up with fake narratives. Oh, Jaylen Brown, oh, this left hand, oh, this and that. Jaylen Brown said this, Jaylen Brown said that, Jaylen Brown said Joel Embiid's a flopper. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's not wrong. How many times did Jaylen Brown get called for a push-off, but the rest of the Sixers didn't get called up for a push-off? Like, it's so damn easy to flop at the NBA without getting, and get away with it. Because they came up with a new flop technical foul, and then guess what happened? They've pretty much scrapped it now because players flop and get away with so much. Jaylen Brown has every right to say what he likes to say. He got fined, so what? He'll get that $50,000 back tomorrow from the Celtics easily. He'll make that tomorrow, but he'll make that next week. More than what he had to pay the NBA, straight into the NBA's pockets.
Yep, no, I agree. And so now, if you want, we can get to Brad Stevens because I have a couple quotes from him from the press conference.
Sure, but let me quickly finish off on Jaylen Brown. I just have to make a few points. Jaylen Brown is going nowhere. Deal with it, or don't support this team, because Jaylen Brown is a Celtic. Either back him or don't support the Celtics, because he's here to stay. He's here to play for the Celtics. He's here to try and win the championship. Yeah, he's here to go on. He's here to help us. Don't look at plus minus stats because they're all irrelevant. They're all fake and they're all misleading. Because Jaylen Brown really carried the Celtics on his back this season. Multiple 30-point games, a couple triple doubles here and there, 50-point games. Jaylen Brown's been carrying this Boston Celtics team. He's carried the Celtics. So people can come up with their narratives all they like. Because let's be honest, Justin, how many times is this going to happen? Every time the Celtics get eliminated from the playoffs, there's always one scapegoat that gets so much stick for absolutely no reason, and that's Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown gets so much stick for no reason. It's baffling. It's so baffling, bro. And it's not only just Jaylen Brown. It's Tatum is soft. Tatum is weak. He's this and that. You have Joe Mazzulla taking criticism. Joe Mazzulla. Okay, I'm just gonna say this, right? It's embarrassing how the Celtics choked the 3-1 lead against the Sixers, and I said this on my show. I said it's been an absolute embarrassment of how we from the whole entire organization. But I'm not going to scapegoat somebody just because the whole team collapsed. It's a team collective. It's not an individual collective. We are the Boston Celtics, not Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum FC. But we have to back our players until the day they leave the Celtics, no matter what. Because I've done that for so many times, and guess what? They won a championship in front of our own eyes. So be thankful, be grateful. So that's the message. That's the message to Celtics Nation. That's the message to Celtics Nation.
Hey, bro, keep talking, cause I'm gonna get Lewis on here because he said he would like to join.
Of course, big up to Lewis every single time. He'd love to see my shirt as well today. You know what I mean? Manchester United, yeah, love that. You know what I'm trying to say, but that's just. But this is just my point. Like, people literally like to point their fingers to the most obvious scapegoat, and that's Jaylen Brown. What has Jaylen Brown done to become the scapegoat of the Boston Celtics? This guy literally takes the time out of his day to go and see the fans, to go greet the fans, to go into the town, host events, no security, nothing. Take a photo of Jaylen Brown, shake hands with him, and literally speak to him. He takes so much time and effort out of his day to go and connect with the fans, and yet people are still here trying to hate on the guy and tell him to get out of the Celtics. What has he done wrong in order for us to go and to get that much hate? Bro, this guy's carried us. So what if he missed shots in the clutch? Pritchard missed shots too. Why isn't Pritchard getting the blame? Why isn't Kata getting the blame? He's been in foul trouble. Why is it only our best player, Jaylen Brown? Why hasn't Derek White been getting criticism? The guy's been missing the whole playoffs. But why is all of a sudden the most obvious guy, the guy that's been putting the team on his back the whole entire season, getting the most hate and the most criticism? It just makes no sense to me. Makes zero sense. The Celtics need to figure this out because this offseason is going to be a big one. We're going to kind of struggle in terms of the trade again because you know what it is? It might be tough to sign players again. However, we're going to have to make some ruthless moves. And if we have to make some ruthless moves, I'm all for it. Whatever helps the Celtics go win the championship, right? Because we traded Marcus Smart, Robert Williams. We traded away Daniel Tice. We traded away some of our players that we liked. We traded away Malcolm Brogdon after a year he's been traded to the Celtics. We traded away some guys that have been so loyal to this team. We traded away one of the best point guards we've seen in recent time for the Celtics. For a guy who was one of the best two-way players in the league, who I still want him on this team, by the way, Drew Holiday. And I love Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday should have been the guy who stayed, in my opinion, personally. I think looking back at it now, I think Drew Holiday should have been the one who stayed. Drew Holiday would have been the guy that helped the Celtics, in my personal opinion. So, yeah, that's just what it is. What else can we do? Except just watch Brad Stevens' press conference and just react to it. Or at least react to what Brad Stevens said. Because Brad Stevens is... I trust in Brad. I put my full faith in Brad Stevens. Excuse me. I put my full faith in Brad Stevens. He's the guy that brought the championship to the Celtics. He brought us a championship. He made the moves. He made the trades. He gave Joe Mazzulla a new deal. He helped Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum develop. He's done so much for us that we can only put our full faith in Brad Stevens. He's the guy that's going to lead us to a championship again. And there's still people out there criticizing Brad Stevens, saying that you make the Vucevic trade. Fuck if I care if Vucevic is at the Celtics. One blunder from Brad Stevens and the whole Celtics fan base is going nuts because Brad Stevens made one mistake. He's made one bad trade since coming here. He literally flipped Georges Niang for I don't know who else. Bro, Brad Stevens is the reason why the Celtics are even competitive in today's day. He doesn't let this team fold. He doesn't let us, fall to the trenches. Because he literally makes the moves that helps this team improve and go on to bigger and better things. Who knows if Vucevic played in Game 7? Could he have scored some buckets to help us? Maybe. Maybe Vucevic could have helped us. But Vucevic has been useless since he's joined. So Brad knows that. Brad Stevens, I know from a quote, Brad Stevens said that Vucevic will be the only restricted free agent this summer. So what Brad Stevens does, I'm going to put my full faith in Brad Stevens. So, yeah, man. That's just what I think. But big up Lewis, man. Big up.
I agree. So, let's hear from... So, I let Akeven talk because we have a guest here that I wanted to get him on. So what I had to do was I had to pretend that I was going to the studio on my other iPod because Maddie's gonna be here with me tomorrow, so he's gonna be running this with Jovan. So Lewis, welcome, buddy.
Big up, bro.
Yeah, big up to you both, boys. How's it going, lads?
So you heard everything that we had said while watching this on YouTube. Do you have any thoughts of your own on what Akeven had said?
Yeah, I do. I just want to take this time and I just want to say to all you delusional fucktards out there blaming Jaylen Brown, right? It's not you cannot just blame one player. It's a team performance at the end of the day. It's down to the team.
Preach.
How is it Jaylen Brown's fault that it went upside down? It's not just Jaylen Brown's fault. That guy works his ass off for this team, game after game after game. And it's like all of these haters out there, they're just acting like a bunch of spoiled little kids. He's not doing this right. He's not doing that right. Well, hold on a minute. Like, I'm not being funny. At the end of the day, Jaylen Brown, even in the off-season, works his ass off to stay fit, to fight for this team.
Yep.
And it's like people just don't appreciate it. What is going on? I don't understand. Do you know what I mean? And
100%,
yeah, okay. It was a disappointing end to the season, but keep our heads high. We go again and we rebuild. It's as simple as that. It's basketball and it's sport. It happens. You win some, you lose some. Get over it. Big deal. Do you know what I mean?
I just seen your comment, Lewis. Yeah, man, come on, United, bro. You know what I mean? United had to redeem me that day. You know what I mean? United had to fucking wake me up because United beat Liverpool that day. I'm gassed, bro. I'm still gassed. Bro, I'm repping my United shirt daily since that win. I don't care, you know? But, you know, and big up Godfrey in the chat as well. Big up to you, though, bro. I can't really see the comments from my side, but big up to you, Godfrey. Big up to you, Lewis, as well. Yeah, guys, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, to everyone's channels, Justin's channel and my channel.
I saw the comment on my end. I can't pull it up on my other iPod because it's gonna keep on saying that I'm losing connection, so I don't want to do that.
Nah, don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it, my guy.
Okay, yeah. So
sorry, continue.
I want to get to a couple of Brad Stevens quotes. And Lewis, this is why you were here. This is why I brought you here because we're doing this Bleed Green podcast on the channel from now on for a little bit. So you're more than welcome to join us if you want to do that once we do that, Lewis.
Oh crap! Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself.
Yeah, no stress, brother. No stress. Brother.
Yeah, no worries. I'll do that, boys.
Okay. So, Akevin, I'm gonna.
That's why I was sorry about that, bro.
No, you're good, Akevin.
I was saying that I was repping my United shirt since we beat Liverpool, bro. Every single day, every single morning. You know what I mean? Every single day.
So,
sorry.
So Akevin, I'm gonna go to you first, and then I want to get Lewis's comments on this one. So the first quote I brought up. Brad Stevens shuts down Jaylen Brown's frustrations, rumors following T-Mac's comments. Fuck him. I talked to Jaylen Monday, and it was nothing but positive. He's not expressed those frustrations to me.
Oh, I mentioned that one already, by the way.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. Then we definitely talked about it.
I basically said that T-Mac came out with rumors that Jaylen Brown wants to leave the Celtics, and Jaylen Brown completely debunked that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then we won't talk. Then we'll go past that.
No, Lewis can answer that question actually. We haven't asked Lewis yet.
Yeah, Lewis, what'd you think about that T-Mac comment that he said that Jaylen Brown has frustrations?
Tracy McGrady, if you don't know.
Even though Brad Stevens basically said he's shown no signs of frustration to me. All I can say to that is about all these writers and journalists and everything. Anything to spread any false information just to make yourself a couple of extra dollars or whatever. That's what I got to say on that matter, really.
No, you're not wrong. I agree with you 100%, bro. It's just all for clicks, isn't it? It's all for clicks. It's all for the camera. It's all for them, social media platforms for people to click like. Oh, Jaylen Brown wants to leave the Celtics, and then the whole NBA fan and the whole NBA community is like, oh, Jaylen Brown wants to leave the Celtics. Yeah, because you fuckers came up with the fake quotes and the fake news and everything. You know what I mean? Y'all decided to come out with, oh, Jaylen Brown this, Jaylen Brown that, and it suits your agenda, doesn't it? Allow me, yeah. I don't know how people can get away with this in today's day, man. Clickbaiting and all that crap. I don't do clickbaiting. I say it as it is. I keep it authentic on my channel, and Justin keeps it authentic on his channel as well. All three of us here are authentic. We don't do clickbait. I don't care if it gets you views, likes, and everything. It's not me.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, Akevin, I'll get to you then. Since we already mentioned the T-Mac, I'll get to you on this one then. He was asked about Joe Mazzulla saying the three-point attempt rate is the most important stat in the game of basketball. He said, I don't remember him saying that, so I don't want to get into specifics on that. It all goes back to being able to generate the best looks.
for me.
What are your thoughts on that?
No, Brad Stevens came out with something along the lines of he wants to see dunks. He wants dunks. You know what I'm trying to say? He wants to see more dunks in the NBA from the Celtics. My problem with the Celtics is we didn't attempt as many in Game 7. We didn't attempt many in Game 5. Justin, this photo right here, bro. This photo, I'm about to bring up. Yeah. This photo. Hold on. Flip it. Here we go. This photo right here will forever haunt this team. They will forever haunt us, bro. This is going to forever haunt us. Being up 13 with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, not finishing our chances, you know. We should be attempting more dunks, for God's sake. We should be attempting more dunks, attempting more rim, driving to the rim, attempt to drive to the rim. Why did Maxey seal the game for the Sixers? He drove to the rim. He attacked Keita. Attack the bigs. Attack the big man. You know? And this is the only problem I have. Yeah, I don't think Brad Stevens would come up with something that Joe Mazzulla didn't say. But let's be honest. Whether Joe Mazzulla said that or not is irrelevant because it's true. If that's a real or a fake quote, it's still true, for me personally. However, don't misquote people. And Brad Stevens is right that, you know, we have to attempt more dunks. You know, play the proper game of basketball. And attempt to attack the rim. There are 2-pointers as well for a reason. It's not just 3-pointers, it's 2-pointers too. You know what I mean? Can attack the rim, get a basket, get back on defense. And that's what it is, really. I can't really add much to that. But for me personally, I just want to see the game of basketball be played to its full ability, rather than just chucking up 3-pointers every single possession. It's just not fun. We're not the Warriors. We're not 2024 Celtics anymore. All right, this team is slowly losing its 3-point ability. We only had a really good 3-point ability against the Pelicans, and that's about it. And after that game, we've kind of obviously we had it in Game 1, but then after that we died by the 3 and lost the playoffs after leading 3-1. Is what it is.
All right, Lewis, your turn, bro.
Yeah, I more or less agree. I think it's all about just like I think with Brad Stevens now, I think it's just going to be all about rebuilding and going again and trying to get back to that winning mentality. Because we all know how clever Brad Stevens is as a coach, but yeah, that's what I got to say on that subject, dude. I think it's a case of rebuilding and getting back to that winning mentality again. So, but that's all I've got on that one anyway, dude.
Yep, I agree. Okay, so I am on the StreamYard app, so on the StreamYard guest app, so I have seen Lewis's comments. I'm sorry I didn't get to see this earlier, but the biggest question that Lewis wanted to ask before we get back to Brad Stevens, and Agavin, I'll let you take this. Will Giannis be a Celtic? You're muted, bro.
Fucking hell, sorry about that. Me, all right. No, I don't see Giannis being a Celtic. However, I wouldn't mind it. Anything that adds to the Tatum and Brown duo, imagine adding Giannis to this team, bro. Just imagine Giannis, Tatum, and Brown, and then you add a center and you add a true point guard. Oh my days. yeah, then I think we'll win the championship. Straight up. Next season we'll do it. But it's got to take a lot. And we might have to trade away a lot of our depth. That's the only scary part. Because the Celtics are right now, they're under the second apron so I think we've got one more year left of this apron stuff, and then the following year we're allowed to spend. We have to be under the second apron for another year, and then we'll be able to spend. So we have to just be careful with our financial thing. Giannis, Tatum, Brown. Obviously, I think Vucevic comes back, but not as a. But I don't think he stays. I think there's a chance that Brad Stevens could bring in a sign and trade. You sign him and you trade him away, just like that. And then I think for that to happen, I think White and Hauser goes. I think with sacrifice Derek White, and I think Sam Hauser will go as well. I think this is Sam Hauser's last year in Boston. I don't think he stays beyond the season. I think he goes. That's what I personally think. I don't know if he stays. He stays. I can't speculate anything. Like I said, I don't want to speculate rumors that are just not, that are not real. But I don't know if Sam Hauser will stay beyond the season. Got to be careful with my choice of words here. But if he does stay, then he does stay. But then there's a good chance he goes back home to Wisconsin and Milwaukee if we do trade for Giannis, because his contract's quite expensive. And also don't forget Brad Stevens, the genius that is Brad Stevens. He's been turning trades, he's been turning ex-players also into trade exceptions. I have something really rude to say, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get canceled. It's like when you leave bits and balls behind. That's all I'll say. Okay, fine. I have a way of saying it. It's kind of like when you're having a meal, right? And you have bits and balls behind. Like you leave a few pieces of crumbs of bread behind.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
The trade exceptions that Brad Stevens has can literally be used in so many good trades this summer. So Brad Stevens not only does he trade away the players, but he turns some of them into trade exceptions that could be used for something major. And that's something that I like. Because think about it, we're not going to trade away Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Let's just keep it a buck. We're not going to trade away Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but we're gonna have to make some ruthless moves around the two J's, right? We're gonna have to keep some of the players that we have already. I personally think we sacrifice Derek White. I think it's time to sacrifice him. I think it's time to sign a true point guard. I think it's time to bring in someone that can really improve us. If we don't go for Giannis, here's my thought process on this. There's a player in the San Antonio that's currently playing for the Spurs. His name is De'Aaron Fox. We can trade for him. We can match his salary. I think there's a good chance we can match his salary. And there are people out there be saying, "What are you saying? This is unrealistic stuff." No, it's not unrealistic. We traded for Drew Holiday. We literally traded for Drew Holiday and Porzingis in the same window. So why can't I believe my team's able to make some good trades? Why can't I believe in my own team to make good trades? Why can't I believe in Brad Stevens, the genius that's Brad Stevens, to make good trades for us to help us win a championship again? That's just what I think. We've got a lot of we've got a lot of work to do this off season, and I trust in Brad. I simply trust in Brad.
Does that answer your question, Lewis?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the next quote that Brad Stevens came up.
Justin, why don't you answer that question as well?
I think what you said made a lot of sense. I really do. As much as I want Giannis, I don't want to give up a lot of pieces to it, including the Jaylen Brown.
We're not going to trade away Jaylen Brown.
No, I know. But if that's the case, I don't want to do it.
Oh
but
no,
I agree. I agree with everything that you had said. I would rather have De'Aaron Fox than Giannis at the moment.
Yeah, we need a true point guard on defense. We need someone. And don't forget, it's not like he can play defense; he can score as well. So it's literally a younger version of. Not a younger version of Drew Holiday, but he can play both ways. He's like a two-way player. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I think.
I don't know how many more quotes there is from Brad, but I'll get to this one.
Yeah, go on. No worries. I'll let
He-
Lewis answer this.
Yeah, we'll let Lewis go first on this one. He was asked about he he was asked about what the season that his team had. He said, like, there were a lot of teams in the NBA playing for draft positions this year, and that won't be the case next year. The league is going to be a lot better.
Mm.
He said that the Celtics' success was contextual, and next season's going to be a lot harder. So, Lewis, when you hear that from Brad Stevens, what do you think? What do you think he's? What do you think? First of all, do you agree with what he said? And second of all, what do you think he's trying to get at?
I mean, if you want to put it into this kind of perspective, I just think he's looking at trying to do his best to make us a winning franchise again. And as he stated in that comment, it's going to be a much harder season next season. So I'm not quite sure where he's going with that. But again, I just think he wants what's best for this team and this organization. So don't get me wrong, I fully trust him. I really, really do. So I'm with him every step of the way because I know he'll. I don't think he'll miserably fail. I think he's gonna success. He's gonna be a success, and I think we'll see another title back in Boston before long. I can see it.
100%. I agree 100%, bro, with Lewis there. I trust him more than I trust our owners, our board at Man United, don't we? You know, we just qualified for the Champions League, Lewis, and I don't even trust our board to go out and make some true signings that will help us improve. But listen, it is what it is. We'll get to Man United another time on my channel. But in terms of obviously the Celtics, yeah, I fully trust in Brad Stevens. Like I've said plenty of times, and I will constantly say it again until people get sick and tired of hearing my voice. Brad Stevens is, the guy that will take the Celtics back to the finals again. And he's literally turned down other offers from other places just to work with the Celtics. How much we should appreciate this guy. The Celtics fans should appreciate this guy more than we think. So look, Brad Stevens made a blunder with Vucevic. That's okay. Every top GM will make a blunder. They'll make a blunder. And look, he's right in the sense of next season's going to get harder. 100%. Because the Pacers are going to come back with Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers are adding more to their team. The Knicks are going to improve. Teams will improve in the West. In the East. The Cavs might come back stronger next season. The Sixers look even stronger than what they are before. As much as us Celtics fans shit on these teams, they're going to get better. So it's our duty that if Giannis stays in Milwaukee, the Bucks might even get better. So it might get tougher next season. However, I trust this team to go back to the conference finals sooner rather than later. I think they'll go back next season. I think we'll go back to the conference finals next season, bro. But it's only a matter of time that we need to make some moves. I'm looking forward to the offseason already. I'm waiting for the playoffs to finish. I didn't think I'd be saying this in this early. I didn't think I'd be saying that I'm waiting for the offseason to come because, bro, this team blew a 3-1 lead. There's a lot of work to be done. It's not just let's just sit there and wait for trade offers and whatnot. We're not Nico Harrison that offers Anthony Davis for fucking Luka Doncic. We're not retarded. All right. So, yeah, it's only our duty now to go into the offseason and fully rebuild this team, and add some stronger pieces and add some stronger players that will help us get back to where we need to be. Because I'm just going to say this now. Next season, the East will be a lot tougher with Indiana coming back. Because I think Indiana are going to come back. They'll finish much higher than what they are. The Knicks will improve. The Cavs will improve. The Sixers will improve. The Magic will improve. They just fired Jamal Mosley. The Hawks will improve. The Hawks are getting a lot better. The Miami Heat, who knows, they could get better. Who else could get better? The Bucks, if they keep Giannis and they build around him, they could get better as well. So it's our duty to go into the offseason, work from day one, because I'm not waiting. Yeah? And I'm sure Brad ain't waiting either. Celtics fans need to bend their sentiment because no need for sentiment. If they want to trade away Derek White, trade away Derek White. I just want this team to improve. And I know Celtics fans have a lot of sentimental bias, and I get it because these players have done such great things for our franchise, and I 100% hear that. But we've got to do what's right, and if it's the right thing to trade certain players, then trade it. But the only thing I'm against is trading away the Jays, and I'm not trying to see Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum get traded. So that's just my opinion.
To me, I agree with everything that you guys had said. I do think the season will get harder and a lot better next season because we might be seeing changes to the tanking system. We might be seeing changes to the draft lottery system. So,
facts.
If that's the case, then this is going to make the NBA a lot better again. So, I agree with everything on that. I'm going to get to one last quote from Brad Stevens.
Okay. I'm sure there's many more, but go on.
There's many more, but I couldn't find. But it's the same that we talked about. It's the threes and the Jaylen Brown's frustrations and yada yada.
Okay. Go on.
Hold on.
No worries. Take your time. I'll let Lewis answer this one first, actually, because I've answered quite a lot.
Actually, I'm going to let you go first on this one again because he answered the first one. He answered the last one first.
No. I've spoken a lot already. I'll give it to Lewis, bro.
All right, so the last quote that I could find that we haven't talked about is why he kept Jason Tatum out of Game 7.
Okay, that's I can't wait to hear your answer on this one, Lewis.
He said, "It's not like a long-term concern, but it certainly didn't look right when he was working out and didn't feel right. So it made sense to be smart about that. The obvious answer is anytime you're coming back from an injury like he was coming from, there's a tendency to overcompensate, and there's probably a little bit of that there." That is the thing I wanted to say for last, because I think that is the biggest one that he's ever said during the press conference. So, Lewis, the floor is all yours, bro.
I mean, yeah, if JT is nursing an injury, and if he even says himself something doesn't feel right and everything like that, then do you know what I mean? I know, like, Game 7 was the biggest game all season, but I know he's by far our best player, right? But if something doesn't feel right, then I'm with Brad Stevens every step of the way. I'm sitting him out. I'm not risking him doing more damage to himself, and then potentially having him miss the start of next season. No way. Not a chance at all. No way. Yeah, but other than that, that's all I've got on that, boys. Because JT is hands down our best player. Why would you want to risk your best player potentially missing out on the start of next season? Ain't happening. Sorry, no chance.
Facts. 100% agree. Even though I do think that Game 7 was on the line, and I still think he should have had maybe he should have had a minutes restriction. Maybe I think he should have played, but not to the full, not to the full max. I don't think he should be playing like full game. I've said this already, Justin. I said this time ago on one of our shows that Tatum should not be playing full 40 minutes. I've said he should be coming back and playing 20 minutes a night, not more than 20 minutes, because it's his first few months back from an Achilles. Cool, what he's done since coming back, I can't knock it. It's been incredible. He's hit like 2 triple doubles since he's come back. Like I can't knock anything he's done. He's had some good games. He's carried us to wins. But sometimes Lewis is also right, and it's better to take precaution for the long-term solution rather than the short-term solution. Because the narrative would have been, had we won Game 7, they'd be saying Tatum sit out. But now that we lost Game 7, there's people saying Tatum should have played. And Tatum is soft. And Tatum is this, Tatum is that. Well, what did you expect from him when he came back from an Achilles injury? What did you expect from him when coming from an Achilles injury? I can't even fucking talk right now, sorry. What did you expect from Tatum coming back from an Achilles injury? 10-month Achilles injury, you know? What did you expect? What did you expect Jason Tatum to do? Drop 50 points a night? Go and drop big 40, 50 points every single game? That's not going to happen. You know? But this is the narrative that they say, Justin. They want to pin the blame on Jaylen Brown for dropping a 30-point game in Game 7. But they don't want to shift the blame to Derek White, who dropped a stinker the entire fucking playoffs. This is the worst ever playoff run by a Celtics starting point guard or a guard I've ever seen in my entire life. Kemba Walker in 2021 played better than this. Kemba Walker played better than this. And I love Kemba. Kemba wasn't amazing in the second season, but he put in a decent shift. Isaiah Thomas right now would have played a lot better than Derek White, and I love Derek White. Derek White knows that he had a stinker of a playoffs run. He turned up in Game 7, but why didn't you turn up in other games when it mattered most? But they want to shift the blame on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, the Jays, who carried us all season, or carried us to a certain degree. Simple. Whatever suits their agenda, these people just want to, chat. I sometimes hate my own fan base because they chat absolute crap, bro. Like honestly, they chat absolute crap. Like it just pisses me off. There's so many reactionary fans out there, and I get it. We should never have blown a 3-1 lead, and I said this already. It's a disgrace from the whole entire organization that we blew a 3-1 lead to the Sixers. We blew a 3-1 lead to the Sixers. That should never have happened. However, don't be pointing fingers on the guy who's been putting us on our back the entire season now. Like I said, and I'll say it again. If Jason Tatum played Game 7 and we lost, they would have said Tatum should have sat out. He dropped a stinker. If Tatum played Game 7 and we won, they'd be saying Tatum did a very, very... Tatum carried the Celtics. If Jason Tatum... had the Celtics won Game 7 without Tatum playing, the narrative would have been, Tatum sit out for Game 1 against the Knicks as well. So you come back fully healthy. But now that we lost, there's some fucking retards out there that are saying Tatum should have played. He's soft. He's this, he's that. Whatever suits their agenda is what it is. I'm running out of words for these people. Hypocrites at best. Hypocritical at its finest.
So
Hypocrisy at its finest. Excuse me.
So I agree with that. I'm just gonna skim through what we're not gonna. I don't want to go into like a full discussion, what I'm gonna say is I skimmed through the Twitter, and he said he gives praise to Hugo Gonzalez because he had a great rookie season, which is fact, he did.
He did.
But the last one that kind of got to me, Lewis and Aikman, is when he was asked about why do you think you guys lost to the 76ers in this series? And he said word for word, we slowed down. And the Sixers deserved that win. So the Tatum one, I kept the. So he said that the reason why we lost to the Sixers is because we slowed down when we were up 3-1.
Okay.
And he said that the Sixers deserved the win, which Aikman, you and I said after the Sixers win, they did. But I want to get Lewis's thoughts, and I want to get your thoughts.
Go on, Lewis.
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. We started off against the Sixers, and we played some really great basketball. But I think it was just a case of like lack of like missed opportunities, and I think that's what majorly affected their play because they knew. I think the players knew themselves that at some point, like not to dispute them or nothing, because we did play pretty well, but I thought what screwed them over was the lack of like decision making and everything, and it sometimes it like being like that, it can have a massive effect around the team, and yes, it can slow teams down because I've seen situations like during the NFL as well, where there have been teams that have started off like really really well in a game, and then like literally the decision making and like the lack of the decision making has like basically took them back a peg or two. And I think this is what happened during the series against the 76ers. And this is why I think we lost. It was the lack of like decision making and concentration. That's why I think we lost it. That's my views anyway.
Yeah, slowing down. Like I said, like I showed you guys the scoreboard. 50-63, Boston Celtics led by 13, by double digits. We typically blow these big leads. It happens. It happens all the time to us, and I'm sick and tired of it. But look, it happened. All right, and the Celtics lost Game 5 in a closeout game. Literally, like I said, Game 5 was a carbon copy of Game 2. We struggled from 3. The Sixers went on a run and stole the game from in our building. We should never have allowed that. We'll say Joel Embiid came back and he made a difference. No, he did not. We just shot poorly. That's on us. Not on Joel Embiid and the Sixers. We just shot really badly. All right? This had absolutely nothing to do with Joel Embiid returning to the jeez, I can't even talk. To the Sixers side. This had nothing to do with Joel Embiid coming back. That's on us. We shot badly. All right? That's on the team. And the team knows that. Because whatever we did against the Knicks last season that got us eliminated, the exact same thing happened again this season. Let's just keep it real for a minute. Because that's what happened. Right? And yeah, we slowed the game down. The Celtics just got comfortable. I think it seems, in my opinion, we just got too comfortable. We just got too relaxed. This team just said, you know, we're gonna just relax and just see out the game and just, you know, the Sixers will just do their thing and you know, they let them come back into the game. They let the Sixers back into the game. All the Celtics needed was another bucket or a 3-pointer to go up by 18 or whatever it was, 16 or whatever it is. That would have been the bucket that ended the Philadelphia 76ers. We were literally one basket away, in my opinion, or 2 baskets away from ending them. But guess what happened? Typical Boston Celtics, we blow into the lead. Am I surprised? No. It's happened way too many times. We've blown so many big leads. We blew a 30-point lead in our championship winning season. The one thing that I don't like about Joe Mazzulla is he just doesn't understand the psychological part of the game. He's a psycho, but he doesn't understand the psychological part of the game. I've said this many times already before. Joe Mazzulla does not call timeouts when the players are tired. He lets the players attack. He lets the players, one thing I don't like about NBA coaches is you don't call a timeout with 3 minutes to go. You're about to lose a timeout, just call it. You have the ball in your hands, call a timeout. Let the players sit down for a little bit and just take a breather. Let them take a breather. Let them go on a run and close out the game. He didn't do that against the Knicks last year. He didn't call timeouts when he had the chance to call timeouts, and that's what pisses me off. That you had a timeout, but you don't use it, and you lost it. The same things happen again. Sometimes when the players are tired or when the players need to take a breather, you've got 3 minutes to go, you're about to lose a timeout, you call one and then let the players sit down and just take a breather and just, get back and just go on a run to win the game. And this is not me hating on Joe Mazzulla because I love Joe Mazzulla. He's a head coach and I want to stay at the Celtics for a very long time, and he should stay for a long time. He's a true head coach. But in my opinion, he needs to understand the psychological part of the game a little bit better. He acts like a psycho, and I like it. He's a funny guy, but not always you'd be funny, in press conferences and whatnot. So, for me personally, yeah, I just think he needs to do that bit better. You have a timeout, use it, burn it. Don't lose it, and let the players rot in the final 2 minutes of the game. And you're having to call one more timeout, and you got one more left. This is where I question Joe Mazzulla's psychological part of the game. He doesn't understand that part. But everything else, as a head coach, his rotations, his rotations is another one. His rotations suck a little bit, and one thing I don't like about his rotations is he doesn't give the right players the minutes. Shyman should be playing sometimes in the playoffs. He had his moments. Shyman had his moments. Jordan Walsh and Tyrese Maxey defended so well in Game 1. Why didn't he play in Game 2? We didn't have anyone to defend Tyrese Maxey. Right? So, my point is, keep the rotations the same when it's working. Don't change it up. Don't fix anything that's not broken. Game 1 rotations, spot on. Game 2 rotations should have been the exact same as Game 1. Same exact, everything should have happened. And I get it. The 3-pointers weren't falling. Find a solution. Tell the players to attack the rim. Attack the basket. You've got a whole fourth quarter in your hands. So yeah, that's just my rant about the Celtics, bro. Because I have a lot to say. But it just, I don't want it to bother me, because I'm just sad that we're out the playoffs, bro. I'm just gutted, bro. I didn't think I'd be saying this now that we're out the playoffs. We're up 3-1 and we're up 13 in Game 5. But little did I know that game was going to result in a Game 7, which ended up costing us our playoff run. Because I'll be honest with you, I think if we had made the second round, we're coming out of the East. If we would have won that playoff round, we'd have come out of the East. We're the best team in the East, in my opinion, still. And I always say that. I'll back my team. But the problem is, we're not consistent. This season was a wake-up call because, cool, it was a potential gap year according to the media, according to a lot of people. Which, fine. I can hear that, but the Celtics will never tank. Right? Next season, I expect the same thing as this season. Bit better, though. 60 wins. Try and get 60-plus wins. And what we need to do next season is just build a better team. Just improve on the core we already have. Improve around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Just improve those two. Just improve around those two guys. Just improve on what we have. Just improve on the squad, improve on the depth, improve on everything else around the team. Improve the mentality. The mentality maybe wasn't there in Game 7 and so on and so forth. We were down 1. There were chances to get back into the game and go on a run and win the game. However, we didn't do that. So next season, this is what we need to work on. And Brad Stevens knows what he has to do. Joe Mazzulla knows what he has to do. Fix the rotations for next season. Trust your players. Trust your bench. Trust your depth. Trust a lot of your players around you that can make a difference. When Ugo came into the game early on in the game, he offered energy. Later on, he didn't play well. But that's where you trust other players around you. Maybe you should have given Ron Harper Jr. more minutes. Maybe you should have given Amari Williams some minutes. Our centers were in foul trouble. Why didn't you trust Amari Williams? You didn't trust Vucevic. Garza and Keita were in foul trouble. You should have trusted. Maybe you should have trusted Amari Williams to get some minutes. Guy is tall, can make some blocks. We need some blocks, so why not use him? So next season, Joe Mazzulla just has to trust his depth. Joe Mazzulla just has to trust his depth, trust his team, rotate properly, and play the right system, and not have a whole fucking bucket load of threes. We don't need that. You talk about being aggressive. You talk about being, physical. We have physical players that can attack the rim and score. We didn't see any of that in the final 3 games of the season. In the games that the Sixers won 3 in a row, we should have done better by attacking the rim. And yes, we missed some buckets, and I get that. But who's grabbing the rebounds? This is where I think we need a center. Someone who's experienced in the playoffs, who can go grab rebounds, grab the boards, and just stay in the game without picking up a lot of fouls. I think the Celtics made a blunder not trading for Zubac or not trading for Claxton. But here we are. I guess Kessler it is in the summer, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I agree with everything that you said. I agree with everything that Lewis said, and I
give your points. So I want to hear from you. You haven't said much.
So yeah, we should have blown the Sixers out. We should have blown the Sixers team out in game 5 when we were up 13. We should have. But what you said, Aikman, when we slowed down, yeah, we did. We did. Because we played with our food and we played down the competition. And I hate when we play down the competition because we live by a 3 and die by a 3. Plain and simple. And if people don't like that, then don't watch the NBA. Plain and simple. That's all I gotta say about that. But we're gonna wrap it up here. Aikman, I got your comment on the bottom of the screen. So if you wanna plug and promote your channel, go right ahead.
Just subscribe, people. Like I said, AN Sports. We're 96 subs to 700. I don't know if you guys are watching and you haven't subbed already, go and sub to the channel. Justin's link is pinned in my live video on my channel. So make sure you guys go and subscribe over there too. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Justin's channel. The link is in the chat. The link is pinned as well. So like I said, go and subscribe over there. Make sure you guys get Justin to 50 subscribers. Let's just keep pushing the goal as we go. And just one sub will do for me for today, I guess. We're one more sub to 605. Just get one more sub will do. If you're new around here and you're watching and you haven't subbed, please do. Turn your post notification bell on so you don't miss upload, you don't miss live, you don't miss all the content, because I'm going to be live for the Premier League show tomorrow night and the United show tomorrow. So I've got plenty of shows. World Cup is coming thick and fast. Roland Garros is coming, so we got lots of previews. Formula 1's coming back in 3 weeks again. And I guess the NBA show, so the rest of the playoffs will still be on my channel. NFL show, I'm considering not doing it next season because I'm just thinking that it's just not helping me so far. And all the NFL shows and the Celtic shows will be on Justin's channel, people. So stay tuned to everything. Stay tuned to Justin's channel, because I'll be on here a lot next season. Don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. Justin's going nowhere. If you want to see more of Justin, subscribe here. So yeah,
and Lewis is not going anywhere either because he's a part of the NBA show with me. He's going to be a part of the Bleed Green podcast with me on this channel as well. He's going to be a part of the NFL show come September with John and Rods as well. So, Lewis, is there anything you want to say before we sign off, buddy?
Yeah, bleed green. Fuck the Lakers.
Facts. I was gonna say tonight we hate watching the Lakers today. Come on.
Yeah,
Guys.
but it's been a
Shea
pleasure.
50 piece.
It's been a pleasure as always. Yeah, thanks for letting me come on right at the last second, boys. I appreciate that. Really do.
Lewis at the buzzer, you know. Lewis hit the buzzer beater. Came on last second. You know what I'm saying?
Came on at the last second. Scored the winning points. Smashed a 3-pointer. Boom.
Exactly, bro. You know what I'm saying? Tell him, bro. Tell him.
So yeah, I am back tomorrow with Maddie and Jovan. I don't know what time Jovan and I are gonna go live, but I am back tomorrow.
Yep.
And yeah, everything that was on Akevin's channel will be over here in September. Well, at during the off season, I should say. But FBS NFL show is premiering in September. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here because we've hit over an hour. So I think that's the best time limit for this show at least.
Big up, guys. Go Celtics.
All right, catch you guys later.
And go Patriots. And go.
Oh,
Boston.
and Lewis, say it one last time. Fuck the who?
Remember it this way. Fuck the Lakers and their organization. They are a bunch of pussies. They going to lose.
And also 2 more teams that I don't like as well. Yeah? You know who you are. New York Knicks.
Oh yeah.
And Philadelphia 67ers. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. But yeah,
But
hopefully the Lakers lose and we hate watching the Knicks. Don't worry.
yeah.
Cool. Joe, that's fun.
The laughing comment at the end. I can see it on the.
Big up Tifosi, man. Big up my guy Tifosi. You know my guy always, man.
All right, I'm gonna hop off here. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. Aiken will be back here with me sooner than later, so we'll catch you guys later.
Yep. Peace.
Later, dude.